One other aspect that we have to look at is working to ensure that we don't only grow in one season. In northern Ghana, it's only one season. Of course, there are some areas within northern Ghana that you can do dry season farming, but that is not enough. We have to invest in irrigation. Of course, we go to Upper East and some parts of northern region, Bontanga, and some parts of Upper West. There are some dams, some rail bodies or water bodies that farmers draw water to do dry season farming, but that is not enough. After the maize season, 4 months, 5 months, most of the farmers go back to the house and they sit. But the only way we can get all our farmers engaged all year round is to invest in what? Irrigation. Affordable and simplified irrigation schemes is feasible. Fortunately, we have Interplus, we have Hatum, who are willing to partner with commercial farmers to demonstrate the value of what irrigation kits to smaller farmers in northern Ghana. Made as a program is currently collaborating with them to set up model farms across some vantage areas in northern Ghana to showcase the value in investing in what? Irrigation. And that's the only way that we can supplement the income we get from what? The mainstream agriculture during the main season. One other thing we have to look at is ensuring that we invest in the youth. Of course, when we started MADE program, we're looking for agribusinesses who are legally recognized. Support them to reach out to smaller farmers with appropriate extension services, including inputs. But most of them will rely on donor support. We are trying to guide them to take business ideas. They are reluctant. But as we speak now, we have a few of the youth who have identified farming as the only way that they can make good money. And when I say we should invest in the youth, is to provide appropriate training to ensure that whatever they're investing is able to keep the appropriate records or documentation that will enhance their access to what? Funding. Not only from mainstream financial institutions, but also from what? Other supplier companies. There are major supplier companies like Yara, Chemeco, and others who are willing to offer input support to farmers with a good network of smaller farmers. But if you're not unable to show records that you're working with X number of smaller farmers with X number of acres, and there's an ample market for this particular smaller farmers, there's no way that this major supplier company will advance any input support credit to you. And that's very good. That's very key in ensuring that we get more youth into agriculture. One thing is the government policy. Of course, subsidy is very good. But the way it's being implemented, we as a program don't think it's the best. The best is to work with the major agribusinesses who have a good network of smaller farmers to receive the inputs, deliver, and recover for government. Some of you have heard that there are a lot of farmers who are looking for fertilizer in some parts of Upper West, Upper East, towards Tumu, Boke area. They have no access to those fertilizers. It's just because the coupons, the subsidy. But if this subsidy was channeled through the agribusinesses, who have a good network of smaller farmers, to be able to access, deliver, and recover, and pay back to government. I think if we're able to put all this in place, we'll see a better way of farming, we'll see growth in the agri sector, and more farmers and more youth be interested in involving themselves into agriculture going forward. Thank you.
Clap, 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 clap. Yes. Great, from MADE. He is seeing a whole lot. Yes. In the next 4 years, they are talking about agribusiness, inputs and services provision. At least there should be that group who will be providing inputs to farmers. It should be there all the time. And that's what they want to see in future, so that people will not be struggling to get inputs to farm. He also said the input should be made available on time. You don't wait until the rainy season is off or the time for planting is off before you provide the seed or the fertilizer or what have you. So it should be provided on time. So there should be that team out there who will be providing input services, and then it should be on time. He talked about the on-farm extension services. We need the extension officers to go out there and make sure agriculture is practicing modernized agriculture. Everything is well practiced. We put good practices in place. Whatever is supposed to take place on the farm to make sure that we have the good produce coming out, it should be done. So he was saying that we should train the youth so that they will have that qualification to go out there. And I know we have the extension staff already around, except that they are not many. If you look at the extension farmer ratio, the gap is really big. So that should be changed in the next 4 years. So they want to see more qualified extension staff out there helping farmers to have good agricultural practices. Do not grow in only one season. He said we should practice irrigation so that all year round there'll be farming. You can produce your vegetables, you can produce your cash crop, your whatever that you want to produce. He also talked about the coupons that it should be given to the agribusinesses or the private sector, those who be able to handle it well so that it will be fruitful. Yes, the way it is now, there are H's. Okay, so this is what he wants to see 2023. Thank you very much. We'll take a brief translation, then we'll move on. Thank you, May.
Thank you. Tongon di fila mani o yuli Joseph Apelega. Na lan shaben bon Maitland dan ka o yina. Tule o yalteme ni yuma taran gala. Benda to kwa mama nto tum tu shale. Ne benda kana te tule ya ngo ne lan sira kan kan nyala bu kwalem lan sin nyale. Ka ba kwal ne be nzana bwala laare. Ni to ma betu ma puni. Betu song kala lan sima kala to kwa sa shal kamza ka ba kwara ka nya laare ka ba kware nzan bwara. Kaya ne fo shaben sonda ntere pupalem nyama ne pupalem nyama kon ne be sai ne de tuni biti nyama nagi kablan bam biyan ne sham to song pupalema zan yi biyan zan la ne ma zan tuma sham bi kwara biyan che kala to yi pupalem bin yaba na pam ni ya de tuni zan de kwalan siya gbande taba din yala akwa ala pupalem nyama din che kala nyala pupalem nyama kon ko kayan kwara anto zan akwalen zuya zan gbini ne fo shopping wede fo parbe tue ben yan kwar sham ka zan akwalen zuya gbinba bi kwai bi akwai akwalen ne ma ka mi wu ba bin yan zan fo kwalen ne ma zan tumtuma sham bi yan che kala nan afa zan ti ni ya tan kwai te fo kwalen ne lo sham apolo ne tune te bang ti yan kwai lo sham apolo ka ne to nan afane ni ka da kam ne ka ne to kwai afu kwalen ne ma aban la an yan kwai le da shane ka to via ben yalanga nzanta ne ya pupalem ma she ne bilanto pande ba ma kan nye ne bo shaba ka to so ne pupalba dan yi biyan kwarsham be biyan gobe bu fuzur ma sha sa sha kam za ha ka to viale nzan to adizo ai chana to ko ne bitu ma pune bitu nyale nirba ka kwa ma pune ka min de puparu ma ka za ha ka ku be bu purma ne halle ka bati ye bon kware shalma ni ya ne bilan bwar men de binya biyan nan sha ka fala yunu pune na kwala yim konko kani to ko ya yimma ni sambe tla yim to ma bleba no nya ayen to nin sam to ko kayu alkom kani to nin karpan ai ko yimma na mi sai tin ma da agablan kwara na le boy ga pulo ngobin to pam man to yu are ben yara kwara ne rozo ne ben yara yu aboma ni ayen za sha yu ni sha dan diri kala arpam ai ari kala arpam kanye pupara anto dalala ben yara man zande yu are ngba kwara sa yuna pulne ka fale ayan kwala yim ka to kware jibu be jibu ta zone no zone wala wala bin yan nan sham to on pense di kwala dan ji ko palan polo sa she kam za ha ka no to on kur arzikin nan da ba puni ka to son da ba ka ba to on kwara ka ni ka fane ni kwa kon yan kwara ka di kwala ba ka no to che ko palan puni on kwara zan da kwa la
He's doing great. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, we are saying that How will Ghana's agriculture sector look like in 2023? What collective role can stakeholders play to change the face of agriculture sector with a focus on inputs, production, processing, financing, branding, packaging, and market accessibility? We'll call on Madam Victoria Adongo from Peasant Farmers Association to give us a version. What she would like to see? We want to see that picture, 2023.
Thank you very much. The first two speakers spoke very well, and I was just thinking because I had a plan of how I was going to respond to this, but the first two speakers took part of what I was going to say. The lady, my sisters, gave a very bright future, a very good scenario of how agriculture will be in 4 years' time. And my brother actually hit the nail on the head because without what is happening now, in 4 years' time, we'll still find ourselves in the same place, marking time. I would like us to go a little bit into policy because the mover and shaker of agriculture is the agricultural policy. And I see that some of you here are students. So it's important that you link policy, implementation, and every other thing. So what does the policy say? Currently, the agriculture policy is the FASDEP, but they are working on it and they are going to change. FASDEP is expiring. They are coming up with a new policy. Now, I'm talking from the perspective of a smallholder farmer, the rural, typical smallholder farmer. And I want to say that if we are not aggressive, we don't attend to policy, well implemented policy, and aggressively, we will still find ourselves here in 4 years' time. 4 years is not too long from here. It has taken us decades to come this far. And if you look at the growth in agriculture, in statistics, it doesn't show that agriculture is growing, even though exponentially experienced, anecdotically, we are making progress. But if you look at what percentage of the GDP that agriculture is contributing to, we are not making it. So let's look at it. Our agriculture document should be linked to the global protocols that we have signed to. I'm talking about the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm talking about CADEP. I'm talking about Malabo Declaration. These things we should know because they are part of the things that shape our agriculture policy. Now, the Malabo Declaration is saying that 10% of the national budget should go into agriculture. 10% of the national budget. That is over 10 years ago, the Malabo Declaration. Up till now, Ghana has not been able to hit the 10%. They nearly got to it a few years back, but now they are far behind it. Other countries have made it, they have exceeded it even. But right now, we have not made the 10% input or contribution of the national budget into agriculture. Now, the money that we are managing to put into agriculture, 70% of that money goes into recurrent expenses. Recurrent expenses means administrative expenses for the ministry, salaries, blah, blah, blah. How much actually goes into agriculture, farming? And remember, I said I'm talking about the rural smallholder farmer. I'm not talking about progressive farmers, as we term them. I'm talking about our fathers and our sisters back home in the village. You understand? So we have challenges, and he made them clear. The challenges are access to inputs. There is a fertilizer subsidy from the planting for food and jobs, which is very, very good. Farmers are still not able to access fertilizer. 12 million Ghana cedis was lost through fertilizer smuggling. And farmers were here struggling to get fertilizer. How are we going to solve this problem? Seed is a problem. You don't get the seed, and when you get it, the so-called certified seed is grain. You plant it, it doesn't grow. You understand? That is a problem. Climate change is a problem. You need to be able to access irrigation. How many irrigation projects are really working? I'm coming, you have to give me time because I'm going to really dissect this properly so that when other speakers come, you fit it into what I'm saying.
Yes, madam.
We have climate change. How many irrigation projects are happening so that farmers can grow twice in a year, like you said, vegetables and other things? You understand? Access to extension is a problem. The planting for food and jobs have attempted to increase extension services by bringing in 27,000 extension officers, so to speak. But I personally, and from my experience and the experience of our members on the ground, it has not actually made any significant impact on the farmers accessing extension. And extension is very, very important in so many ways. Because before you can even talk of packaging, you must know where your market is. You understand? You have a lot of fertilizer. You have increased production. Where do you find the market? You don't know. You understand? So extension is very important. How do you grow? When do you grow? How much fertilizer should you use? Most of our farmers abuse the use of fertilizer. They have no idea for what plant, how much it should grow. What is the soil fertility? How much soil, how much fertilizer should? All this is missing for the rural farmer. You understand? Market access. She is talking about packaging and getting good market. There's still a lot of maize from last year still lying there. Farmers are not able to access the market. It's not that there is no market. The market is not structured. So they don't know where to send their market, go and sell. Farmers want to sell and make money. At least they should make good profit from what they have used. But they are not making good profit because they are not getting the proper market structurally so that at the time that they want to sell their maize, they can get a good price for it. We have problem of post-harvest loss, which comes out from storage facilities. You understand? How many storage facilities are in our communities? Because the planting for food and jobs have set up big storage facilities in the districts. That is very good. How many of our farmers can take their maize into the districts and store? They do that through aggregators. Aggregators will buy it too because they also want to make profit. So that is another challenge. Transportation is a challenge. How does the aggregator carry his produce from whatever community that he has bought to the city or to the district or to the storage in the district to store? Access to finance is a problem for the farmers. She's talking about the warehouse receipt system. That is very good. But we are looking at the progressive farm, and even the progressive farmers, it's not all of them who are aware of this warehouse receipt system. So we still have a lot of work to do there. The typical rural farmer doesn't know what we are talking about, warehouse receipt system. She needs to be educated to know about that. So access to finance means that I need a loan from the bank to go and buy my inputs. Let me go and get this loan, buy my inputs. When I harvest and sell, I'll go and pay to the bank. That is nil for farmers, smallholder farmers. They don't get that. There is no National Agriculture Fund that is targeting smallholder farmers. And I want you to agree with me that smallholder agriculture is the core of agriculture in the country. So if all these challenges are not solved, then we are not moving anywhere with agriculture. How do we solve them? We are talking about stakeholders. And I'm looking at first our pockets, the budgets. The government needs to put in more investment for agriculture. At least the government should try and hit the 10%. There is a new National Agriculture Investment Policy that has come out. I wasn't able to read it before I come here, but I read the executive summary. And all these challenges that I'm stating, they have acknowledged it. And they are in the document, they are taking steps to address them. It means that government is looking at investing more because the title of the NIAB is investing for food and jobs. So it means that government is thinking of putting more money into agriculture. But that money should go to the right places. You understand? Then we have what was I even going to say? So how do we collectively work towards getting agriculture moving in the next 4 years? And I still use the word aggressive. We should be looking at the value chain. We should look at the commodity value chain where you have me, the farmer, producing, the off-taker, the aggregator, the off-taker picking up. Transport is there. Finance is there. You should look at the value chain so that attention should be put on the private sector who are very important in moving agriculture forward because the aggregators are private sector, processors are private sector, but packaging and marketing all comes from the private sector. And if these are not working well, the farmer is nowhere because the farmer is producing to sell. And if you cannot process, it's lying there. If you cannot package and get good market, it's lying there. If the aggregator cannot offtake from you, it is lying there. So what I'm trying to say is that the government, whilst looking at production, because right now, if you look at very closely, the thinking is too much skewed towards production, getting high yields, intensification, high yields. Okay, yeah, because we are thinking of food security too. That is good. But if you have high yields and you are not able to sell, there's no use because you cannot eat only your maize and sleep. You need more money to buy other things, pay school fees and other things. So we should be looking at the commodity value chain, the private sector, the farmers, research, technology, because she was talking about intensification, which means that there's technology, there is a technology that farmers will have to be taught. So that technology comes in. We need appropriate technology. A smallholder farmer with 4 or 5 acre, this doesn't need a huge combined harvester. We need appropriate machinery that can suit the smallholder farmers, where women are a lot. So you will be thinking of the women too. Is this tool or this machinery appropriate for the woman, smallholder farmer? I know tomorrow they will be talking about that. But so collectively, each person in the value chain should be up and going. That means that the government should create to operate. You understand? So let me just make it short. But I've given you food for thought. I know you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm making the linkages here. Now I cannot talk and leave out the planting for food and jobs. The planting for food and jobs has no. I mean, you can't talk of agriculture today and leave out planting for food and jobs. It is a very good attempt to solve agriculture problems. And I'm looking at the linkages in the whole setup because the planting for food and jobs is looking at production. At the same time, it's looking at post-harvest loss by providing storages. At the same time, it's looking at extension by increasing extension services. But what is more important, the other off-agriculture things that they are doing, one district, one factory, it will go to help agriculture. One district, one village, one dam will help agriculture because of irrigation issues, climate change issues. and then planting all one village, one dam, one district, one factory. Comparative advantage. If we are growing a lot of groundnut here, that factory should be a groundnut paste factory to process the groundnut that you are. If you are producing a lot of mangoes, that factory should be processing mangoes or tomatoes, something. So one district, one factory, one village, one dam. They are all going into moving agriculture forward. So in short, if we want to see agriculture moving forward, the policy should be well implemented. They should look at the commodity value chain, enabling environment, and address all the challenges that we are facing today. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves.
Yes, another round of applause. Wonderful. Thanks so much, Madam Adongo from Peasant Farmers Association. She has said a lot, so I'll just attempt to summarize it. She talked about movers and then shakers, talking about the policy implementation. She mentioned that we need to make sure we implement Ghana's agriculture policy aggressively so that we will be able to make it. Talking about the next 4 years. If we start implementing the policy aggressively, then we'll get them. She also talked about CADEP. She talked about Malabo Declaration. She said a whole lot there and said we need to invest more in agriculture so that the 10% allocation of national budget to agriculture should be done so that we can have 6% growth in the agriculture sector. Yes, she talked about challenges and said farmers are not able to get access to fertilizer due to smuggling of fertilizer. So we need to maybe advise ourselves, find a better way of going around it so that the fertilizer that has been subsidized will not be smuggled out. And our farmers in the country will have access to it to use it. So we are talking about stakeholders here, how we can help and make sure that in the next 4 years, agriculture sector will have another picture. She talked about extension services and said 27,000 AEAs, that's agriculture extension agents, are being trained to beef up the team we have already in the system. But even that is not much. They should add more. So let's see from the private sector, what can we also do to help this area. She talked about market access. She talked about post-harvest losses, transportation by aggregators. She mentioned that. And she also said a lot of work needs to be done in the area of the warehouse receipts. So let's look at that. She talked about the financial sector. More money needs to be invested in agriculture. So the financial sector, you need to help us so that our farmers can have money to go into production. She said government has started working in the area of investing some money into agriculture. She said she read a document on that, planting for food and money or investment. She was talking about investment in agriculture from the government sector. So that will be done. And she also mentioned the value chain. She said we should look at the value chain and we should encourage the private sector to be part of the system. Most of the things should be handed over to the private sector, not only the government. She talked about processing, she talked about the research, she talked about appropriate technology, and she finally ended by talking about planting for food and jobs. She has done a lot, and if we are able to maybe pick some of these ideas, we can start writing proposals, we can start teaming up, forming networks. We can join the old networks that are around and see how best some of us here, stakeholders here, can utilize some of these ideas to push agriculture forward. Thank you very much. Can we have a short translation?
So, Madam Victor Adongo ni oyila laŋgu shɛli bin booni Peasant Farmers Association la ni na ni o ko n yɛli o yɛltɔɣa zaŋ jɛndi shɛli nyɛla ni gɔmnanti harika nima zaŋ yi pukpaɣalim polo ni gɔmnanti harika nim maa puuni ni yɛli shɛli biɛni ka di nyɛla ni Ghana ŋɔ laɣiri shɛli zaaha tin nya ni di tumi ni bi ku dee vaabu pia n zaŋ niŋ pukpaɣalim puuni naa maa bɛ na bi to n ku laɣiri la n paagi vaabu pia maa zaŋ niŋ pukpaɣalim puuni ni yaha laɣashɛli zaaha bin kuri niŋdi pukpaɣalim puuni maa na a lihi ni di vaabu pia so pɔin zaaha bi zaŋlimi tumdi ɔfis ni yɛla lala laɣashɛli din chani pukparibi sani maa din dii bi galisi ni zo a lihi dinbɔŋ nim maa zaaha muɣusiɣu n nyɛli ka kali muɣusiɣu shɛŋa pukpariba din paariba tuuli ko yɛli ni kadama pukpaɣalim niɛma ni di biɛni to amaa di bi paari pukpariba ka bi mali kuri bin bɔri ni o zaŋli ku bukata shɛli ni domshi a lihi kulim fertilizer ni yuuni maa ni bi raatiya ni bi zaŋ ti pukpariba to amaa ka niriba zaŋli dula tin duya ti kohara lala zuɣu ka laɣari bɔrigi paagi miliɔn 2.5 ni yaa bin mali binyɛri shɛŋa birita ni shɛba yɛn kana ti yɛli ni bi kohila bimbira to amaa bin kohili shɛli maa ka bimbira n nyɛli bi ku chaŋmi ti tooli na bi kambɔna ni n ti zaŋli kohili tiri pukpariba ni o lan kali muɣusiɣu shɛli pahi nyɛla ni sanzali di mini di nyaanga di nyɛla din muɣusiri pukpariba pam ni gɔmnanti daa kpuɣi pukparilim karachi nima ni ka bi yiɣisi tuhi pishi ni apɔin ni to amaa bin bɛ puuni n tumda bi dii bi nyɛri lala sɔŋsi ŋɔ maa bi biɛni to amaa bi dii bi kanna n ti sɔŋdiba ni yɛli shɛli din lan biɛni ka nyɛ muɣusiɣu nyɛla a yi yɛ apuzuri maa naagi ni din to ku doya halli n ti saɣam bee yiɣibu maa shee ka di yɛn saɣam gba di bee n piɛ daani naa ti zaŋ kohi a kohiya a yiɣiya to amaa ka a lee saɣamdi bi chɛ daa ni yaha gɔmnanti lan n ŋmɛri a ni tooi zaŋdi a pukparilim niɛma zaŋdi sɔŋ luɣu shɛli polo din nyɛ kambɔna n zaŋdi niŋdi district capitals ni to amaa bɔhigu maa nyɛla pukpari bibaayi lan ni tooi zaŋ bi puzuri ni bi zaŋ chaŋ lala kambɔna maa ni ti zaŋ bi pukparilim niɛma zaŋ sɔŋ ni yaha a yɛn zaŋ binshaɣu ʒili tahi maa di kani a ku tooi zaŋ binshaɣu ʒili zaŋ chaŋ bi tooi niŋdi laa maa nyɛla bi mali laɣiri ni tooi da lala niɛma maa pukparibi sani bin ni tooi da n zaŋ chaŋ ti sɔŋ lala waya houses maa ni amaa pukparibi maa bin mam maa bi ku tooi zaŋ chaŋ n ti zaŋ sɔŋ ni muɣusiɣu shɛli din lan biɛni pahi nyɛla a ni tooi nyɛ laɣiri shɛm n zaŋ chaŋ n ti ko ni pukpariba saha shɛli kam zaa di nyɛla muɣusiɣu a ku tooi yisi na di chaŋ banki ni ti ya ni a nyɛla pukpara bi ti mali laɣiri ka a chaŋ ti ko lala maa ni di nyɛla muɣusiɣu pam n zaŋ ti ni ka o ni kali shɛli ŋɔ maa zaaha wula ka bi yɛn niŋ bee wula ka sokam zaaha yɛn niŋ ka di mali ni tuuli nyɛla di tu ni bi kpaŋsi ariziki kun zaŋ niŋ pukparilim puuni di tu ni gɔmnanti o ni kuri laɣa shɛli zaŋ niŋdi pukparilim puuni maa di tu ni o chɛ ka di galisi din chɛ ka di sɔŋdi pukpariba ni yaha ni ti kɔbu maa puuni di bi tu ka nyɛla pukpara ka ku lihila nyinkɔɣu laa puuni konko di tu ni a mi ŋun lee kohiri a pukparilim niɛma zaŋ tira ka a mini o mali kpalan zuya a yi yihi a pukparilim niɛma maa ŋun ka a yɛn kohili zaŋ ti di tu ni a mini ba zaaha yi mali kpalan zuya amaa di ku nyɛla ni yɛn kohimi ni yɛn komi ka yihi ka zaŋ kohi a yi ko ka yihi pam ka bi tooi nyɛ daa din yɛn dali marisa di bahila doli maa zo a yi kohira di tu ni a mi ŋun yɛn da a niɛma zaaha ni yaha ni o ku tooi yɛli hali naagi ka bi gɔli gɔmnanti ni niŋ binshaɣu pumpɔŋɔ zaŋ yi ti pukparilim polo ni din nyɛ planting for food and drugs ni lala gɔmnanti ni niŋdi shɛli ŋɔ maa ni di ʒɛla ni district kam zaaha bi me factory zaŋ tiba n kɔri shɛli pam ka bi niŋ lala factory ŋɔ maa ni tooi zaŋli n lɛbigiri binshaɣu din tooi mali anfaani kama yi kɔrila sima ka bi tooi tinya mashina ka yi zaŋdi di sima maa chɛndi maa ni n ti lɛbigirili ni yaha tiŋkpaŋ kam zaaha gɔmnanti lan zaya ni bi yɛn dirila mɔɣu n zaŋdi tiriba yi mali mɔɣuli maa n tooi zaŋli n kɔra di ti niŋ ka sanzali biɛni bee ka wuuni du o ku yɛli shɛli biɛla n bala ba.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have two members on the panel to finish up. We are still talking about how Ghana's agriculture sector will look like in 2023. What collective role can stakeholders play to change the face of agriculture sector with a focus on production, inputs, processing, finance, branding? We are talking about packaging and market accessibility. We would like to invite our brother to take over. You have 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Yes, our time is trying to.
That's very complicated, eh?
Thank you very much.
Okay, but I'm going to try. I think they've spoken about some of the key things. The key for me is, where do we want our group to be? You know, and then how do we get there? Where are we today? My name is Dankwa Adoyobo. I'm in charge of the RS business in West Africa. Where do we want to be? You know, if you don't know where you are going, you don't get lost, because any direction is okay. So now, where are we today? So that by 2023, we can say we have made good progress. If we don't change anything and we do what we are doing today, we would see some progress in 2023. But the question is whether that's good enough or not. You know, sometimes that's what we miss. Today, our farming is substantially smallholder farmers. About 90%, maybe even 95% of the farming in the country is smallholder farmers. Can you develop with that? Is a yes and no. And I know I take a risk when I say no, because then the smallholder farmer group will say, that's families, right? That's lives. Yes, but there's a way to do it. Maybe we need to have aggregation of smallholder farmers to create large scale. It doesn't mean get them off the land, but you do an aggregation. You create a large scale out of smallholder farmers. We should also get to the space where we encourage large scale farms as well. Because sometimes we are forgetting that and focusing only on smallholders. But aggregation will take us there, you know, because I know a farmer who has a tractor that he doesn't need. And then you ask me, but tractor is good for mechanization. Yes, but he doesn't need it because his farm is too small. If you do an aggregation, then the other players in the value chain, you can suddenly have service providers, people who provide mechanized services. The farmer doesn't have to own a tractor, but somebody can come and clear 500 acres for 2,000 farmers. That's where we need to be going, you know, when we are talking 2023. And then, you know, a lot of the farming we see, because of the smallholder mentality, is not business minded. It's really not business minded. And, you know, you don't change to a business mind by telling somebody he has to be business minded, because nobody changes with that. We need the players in the value. That's why the aggregation is important, because you need to start to see yourself beyond a 2-acre farmer. You need to start to see yourself as part of a 1,000-acre farm. You know, yours might be 2 acres, but if you don't start to see yourself as part of a 1,000-acre farm, you can never think business on a 2-acre farm. You know, let's not kid ourselves that let's do training and things, yes, but we need to change that. Value chain partnerships, that's where we can drive that, you know, where we have farmers, we have input suppliers, we have the market come together and form a scheme so that the farmer knows that he's producing for market. That is something Yara has done with a couple of players and schemes around the country as well. So that is extremely important. Our farmers also, unfortunately, look for cheap or free things. Guys, you cannot develop with that. You cannot develop with that. Cheap and free things. So, everybody is waiting for government subsidy. You are not doing irrigation. Your season is starting, the rainfall has started in June. You need to plant and apply fertilizer. The subsidy program has not taken off well. Instead of thinking of getting the inputs and applying and moving on, you will rather wait for some cheap products. And when you are waiting for cheap, what it means also is people don't think of quality. As long as it's half the price, even, you know, when you get it late, it doesn't give you value. And for me, 2023, we need to change that. Very good intent with the subsidy program. It's been run for more than 10 years. And then I think you also mentioned that maybe we should give it to the agribusiness. I have a very different view. People subsidize agric in Europe, billions of dollars. So I don't accept that somebody from Europe comes to Ghana and says, stop subsidizing agric. But they do it differently. Nobody is subsidizing inputs in Europe. Why can't we do output-based subsidy? That's what I want to see in 2023. The farmer gets the subsidy when he produces. Why can't we do that? Why are we subsidizing the inputs and complaining that people are smuggling? People are smuggling because you have made the price half and you cannot guarantee that everybody is honest. But if you switch that approach by 2023 to tell the farmer that we register the farmers, hopefully our national identification exercise will take it a bit more serious. Register the farmers, get everybody in line, and now have enough extension officers to monitor and support the farmers. Based on your output, you get a subsidy. And you can use that subsidy to go and buy whatever fertilizer you want next season. So that you are stopping the discussion of my subsidy allocation is finished. So if you want to buy, I cannot give you subsidy. You know, we need to change that. If we don't change that approach, and we are focused on looking for cheap and focused on pushing the government to subsidize the input, we will improve, but we will not improve much, right? The other thing also, we talked about inputs, the production bits, the marketing and the packaging. I bought some made in Ghana rice last week. I think it was 5 kilos. I cooked it once, and I went to buy made in Vietnam rice. Do I like it? I don't like it. Okay? I bought made in Ghana rice because I wanted to use made in Ghana rice. Because I wanted to help Ghanaian farmers. Because I thought it made sense. I haven't finished eating that rice. I have gone to buy Vietnam rice. Am I patriotic or not? Let's not have a patriotic conversation. The farmer, the consumer, looks for something. And if we don't do the right packaging and finishing for the consumer, our agri sector will not grow as much as we want. You know, nobody walks into a shop and say, I want to buy made in Ghana shoes. People walk into a shop and say, I want to buy quality shoe. And if that quality shoe is made in Ghana, I'll buy that one first. But nobody walks out into a shop and say, you are all dressed up nicely. When you go out into your shop to buy clothing, unless you are buying this which is traditional, you don't go and say, I want the made in Ghana material. You want the good material that will last. The same conversation should come in agri. I want an output that is quality and meets standards. And if the agri sector does it, then we're on a good path. The bit that maybe I would end with that because of time. I will do two things. One is standards. You know, we have a lot of policies, we have a lot of laws. We don't need laws. We don't need any more policies. We just need to enforce standards. You know, people complain about the quality of inputs in the market. You think there are no standards? There are standards. But the enforcement is missing. That needs to be seen. And when I look at my friend from the bank here, you know, the banking institutions, they like to finance Yara. They like to finance Nestle, Unilever. They don't like to finance my distributor who is called Shenye Radiaye. You know, his Shenye Radiaye Enterprise. That name alone puts the bank up. Right? So, I'm interested to hear from you. Because the reality is, if I have financing from the bank, which I do and I need, but the chain does not have financing to support the farmers, I'm not in business. Because the retailers have to sell, the distributors have to sell, The aggregators have to move before my financing would make sense. So we really need to see something better on financing. I was in a program with the Bank of Ghana colleague who said, yeah, there's a special scheme, they would finance aggregate at a lower rate. The question for me, which we need to ask is, what is the rate that makes sense for farmers and for the distribution chain? Because maybe the national rate is 26%, and you show up and do 25% in a scheme. It looks nice, but it doesn't work for the farmer. Because maybe the rate that works for the farmer is 10%, or maybe 7%. I don't know. But until we get there, we will see progress, but we will not see the progress we want. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, a round of applause, please. We can do better. Thank you very much. Thank you. Our director from Yara, thanks so much. He said we need to do something about the current state of agriculture, else we'll remain as we are in the next 4 years. So we need to do something about it. He said we need to have aggregation of smallholder farmers. At least together they'll be able to do something better than they are doing now. He said as an individual, you need to see yourself beyond producing 2 acres of land each year. It should be more than 2 acres. Talk about 1,000 acres, 100 acres and over, and that will push us forward. He said we shouldn't look for cheap and free things. Hello? Yes. If we want to have a very great agriculture system in our country come 2023, then we shouldn't look for cheap and free things. We should rather look for quality things. We should not wait on government alone to give us subsidies before we continue with our production. That it should be output-based subsidy. You get the farmers registered. You make sure that you have the extension officers to help them produce. And whatever they produce can be sold out, and then through that you can support them. He talked about marketing and packaging. He also talked about quality of what we produce. It shouldn't be cheap things. We should produce quality things because everybody wants to buy something that is of higher quality. And he talked also about the bank rates. And I know EcoBank will talk about that soon. Very soon we'll be wrapping up. So get your questions ready. We'll give you some time to ask questions and then we are done. Our people from Pong Tamani would like to leave. So we want to make sure we have the last speaker before they leave. So we are sticking to our time.
So Mr. Dankwa ne omini yara benen tumda. We to ama puno kupchile makai ne dinan ka anya kupara de tuni ami tinji sashe won apupalam ne nyesham. De kala me yumadan kan na ula ka bwa ne apupalam ma di yelge te page. Na ibu mi anzolo shapolo. Da mi anchando shapolo. To don na yuel ka ku chanma. Na le ne te puparo pam. Te pupalam ma na ri yelge. Dela ka to kwara. No so no tuni te zante kwalenzuya ngbon taba. Ka nan ka to kwa ma ka fa yelge. Nika pupar za kam za han tu no da trata nene fo yina to da nzare kwa tir so kam za ha nene ka za tu palan zuya gwantaba tento nna da bo ma ni ya ni to pupar ba tento yu sham nyala to bo ne te darbin ya to bo yula gwamnatin tira ka wa chante degi haide nan karbo fiala ne so tu ne te pantama anyan daban sha ka kubu ka zanta apupalan pune ka chante dala dena ka ba dwale gwamnatin ta to so ka wa chan nte degi ni gwaranti tuma puuni ne la mbori ben yaran pupalen ne zan de puparba ne tuni be kpansere ka nya be mbogo pupalen ne ma be chami kale mbo pupalen kala tina ka be so akwa ma pun hale ka ti ye ale ye ka gwaranti de le da o nda ko pa ada ka da ka pa o mbola ben yaran zan ta ka zan ko o chama ka kun na ga ti ye ko pa ada ka da ni ya ti ko ka ye ti pupalen ne ma ne be tuni ti chale la ka le zan ko era abang la an le yen yabgale sham ka yan ko el ka na to mal amfani ni kama ba ko idan ga lora chan ti da gana ngo shinkafa zan ko ti do non do ye wablan do le pai ora lan chang man ti da sementan shinkafa ni le pani o ko bwa la sementan shinkafa ma halle ni ka da do la mun yan dale ngo ma on bwa ni shinkafa ma bisham a shinkafa i kala la ma so be ndale ni kalan ya zan yi te bankan ma gba polo ni nan ka nye fu para ke lam ka nya e fu pala langu ma de na de witi to na fam be ide bin yale nyuar fam I cham bankan ni ti de ga lare de nya mo so nzanti to ma de nya la e lam me ka to na de pam ma I cham into de ga lare zan chan te ko na so bien pas bankan ma gba ka to so na fu para ba into ter ba lare zan yi bu pala ma polo ai cham bankan ni to bwa lare ka nya la nya la fu para ka ni to ta ka zan chan te ko.
Thank you. Yes, our final speaker on the panelist, please, EcoBank. Let's receive him with a round of applause.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is David. David Asiedu. Maybe there's a reason why I'm tall and big. Four people all looking for money from me. Okay. And I was just listening. I realized that the date 2023 has special meaning for me too. Because it looks like if you add it, that's my age.
Wow.
Okay. If I had come here last week, it wouldn't have been my age, but today is my age. Okay, so maybe there's something special about the date too.
Okay.
I'll give you a bit about my background. Okay, I'm sure you have this idea, bankers, what they're like accountants, right? You know what I did first degree in school? Natural Resources Management. I did wood science. And when I finished and I said I wanted to do MBA in finance, I wanted a scholarship. I remember very, very well. They asked me, why should we do a scholarship? You know what I said? I said, in my country, agric and generally cultivation of our natural resources is a problem. It's not sustainable. I think people don't see it as a business and therefore they are not able to sustain it. And therefore, when I do finance, I'm able to advise people. That's what I said. And it probably went. So I have my roots in agric. Okay. I'm happy there are a lot of young people here. Okay, and there's this thing I usually say. When I was your age, I think mobile phones had just come. And you had only one small triangle. And you could just punch the number in black and white. But I remember one day I was just looking at it and I said, I'm sure one day this thing will turn to colored. I never dreamt of touch screen. I couldn't even imagine it. Okay? Now I have a little daughter who's 3 years old. If the thing is not touch screen, she doesn't know how to punch anything. When she touches any screen, she wants to. So that's what change can bring. And I'm happy all of you here, or at least most of you here, are young. 4 years is a short time, but it's also a long time. Things can change. When I finished school, I did my project work on a floppy disk. Who knows what a floppy disk is? The young of you. Floppy disk is flat. That's how I typed my project work. You know how much memory it has? Who can guess? How much memory a floppy disk holds? 1.44 megabytes. Megabytes. It can take only one picture today. That's what you put into the PC. So you see how we've advanced. In the past, when I was in school, when I asked my uncle or my auntie or my parents for money, okay, next week I'll go to the bank and put some money in your account. Unfortunately for me, my little niece, I have nowhere to hide. Oh, uncle, send me Momo. I can't say next week again. I can't even say tomorrow. Because they know your Momo can be linked to your bank account. It's linked everywhere. So nowhere to run. So what is the point I'm making? The point I'm making is that we need to take advantage of development in the technology space. And it's very important. I'll relate it to financing. Okay? You are all aware of what a bank does, right? What do you think a bank does? Any ideas? What do you think a bank does? It's not a difficult question. Just think. When you were a little boy, what were you thinking of a bank? So if you have plenty money, you don't want to put under your pillow, just take it then to keep it so that when you need it, you go for it. Right? That's all. That's what a bank does. Then the bankers think they are smart. So instead of just keeping it, they will give some as loans, right? And make some money on it. So by the time you come, they'll give you back your money and then they will pocket the profit. No, I'm telling you, that's what they do. It's as simple as that. That's banking. But if you are giving somebody money, the person hasn't told you to give any loan to somebody, then you better be sure it will come back. Because if it doesn't come back, you see what happened to all the banking that collapsed? That's what happened to them. They gave people's money out and it didn't come back. If a little bit doesn't come back, I'll go and take my profits from my previous transactions and come and replace it. But if it becomes bigger than my profits, that's it. So you understand? Now, how can agribusiness access financing? And the answer is simple. Why do we give loans to big companies? Or even, let's come to smaller companies, those who have supermarkets in the corner. Why can they take loans? Because every day they sell, and then they take their money and go and put it into the bank. So when they come and they say, I need 10,000 cedis, you know what I do? Or what the bank does? They go and check the account. Every month, how much do you put into the account? If I see you put in 500 cedis, I multiply by 30, that would be what, 15,000, right? Is it 15? 1,005? No, 1,005 is too small. It's 15,000. If I see that you have 15,000, I know that if I give you 10,000 in 1 month, you can pay it easy. Isn't it? Now let's bring it to your smallholder. Okay? You come and you say, oh, I don't need much. I need some money for seedlings. I only need 3,000. I ask you, okay, so last year when you harvested, how much money did you get? Oh, I even got more than that. I got almost, 12,000. Is there any way I can see it? I'm telling you, that is the problem. I cannot see. And if I cannot see, how do I believe you? It's as simple as that, honestly. If I cannot see, then how do I believe you? So who can think of how digitization can solve it? If you have a system where when you are selling, the person pays you even by a Momo or any of the digital products, it's registered. The record will always be there. You can just tell me, just look. And then you become the same as the guy who has the shop. And luckily, our digital solutions doesn't require you to go to a big branch to go and open an account. Isn't it? So that's why for us at EcoBank, we have various products that are suited for that kind of business. We have what we call the EcoBank Pay. So for example, I don't want to mention names, we finance some of the aggregators. When they are paying for their produce, when the smallholder brings it and they are paying for it, they pay via the digital solution. What it means is that after some time, when the smallholder comes, he can prove to me that he's been selling and this is the amount of money he's been getting. So therefore, give me a loan. And that's why I started by saying, I'm happy most of you here are young. So what do I want to see in 2023? I want to see records of farming sales or farming activity right along the value chain. And he mentioned it. The big people, they don't have a problem because all their money passes through a bank, isn't it? The problem is the people down there. And that's why, again, I've repeated that about 3 times. I'm happy the youth are here. Because I think they are the ones who adapt to these new technologies quicker. Some of our older people will at least no Momo has penetrated our economy so well that it's changing things. Who knows you can take a loan from MTN? You know you can take a loan from MTN. Do I tell you a secret? Do you know the money is not it's not MTN's money? It's not MTN's money. It's other some bank people who've given them the money. All they do is just okay. That's all. And you know how they calculate how much you can get? You know how they calculate how much you can get? Same thing I'm repeating here. They check how much credit you bought, how much Momo has been coming into your account, how much Momo you've been transferring out of your account, how long your SIM has been active, and then they give you. If you take the first one and you pay, the next time you get a bigger amount. Simple. But if people have been trying to game the system or they're laughing. And I'm intentionally focusing on the smallholder sector of agribusiness. So for us in EcoBank, in fact, we just launched a product called the MT account, where if you use our channel and you receive monies and make payments through our channel, digital channel, for 3 months, we can look at it and give you up to 50% of your turnover. But without that, it is your word against mine. How do I know what you are saying is true? I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, so you start going to EcoBank. We're going to ask a lot of questions. You'll be, for the sake of our brothers who would like to leave, I want the translation to be done so that they'll have the chance to ask their questions, then they can leave. Please, brief.
Mr. David, I say, do not to me la EcoBank. Which I'm up when no Kuban and Labusha Yella, or Pilmaka Yale on Pilgashikurisam, Kanyani, or Abtum, or Abapili Shikurma, Kanyala, Bankan Tumaka, which I'm the Wanda, Nora Wan Lapupalan, Tuma, Yetua, Katchanti Dan Nola, Bankane, Tumama. Nay, two Leden Cheka, Shamna to Cham Bankane, Katin, Lines at Chanti, Tumbu Tumaka, Shabmi Chang, Beka Pukabe Chang, Cabin Yellow Man, near the wagon some yella. Niben chan kan ya lere ma no chan wen zan la gbana wo ba welcome zan ha be yunu kam zan ha nin ya shambon le mi ya le la ya ka za kan bwara ne be le ban to nti ban to te ba lare nu ta ma tin pu par ban wuna akwen chan men ti jini bank ne ka ya ba ne abwa la ya ka za na zan ko ka ba bwa ti ta lere ma wula ka ya nan to yo ka ya ka da ma ni ne ko era ni nya lare pam be ni nya lare ga la ka bwa shara ba aka shara shara yan zan we Nuzo Sharak Canadian way, and yes, Shamazo Chame, Caputo Taler, Aricuto Chanti Yava, Nangbang from Macavale, Zoka Taler, Shake Azan Lagbana, and Wuba. Nuzo to buy and 2 year Larry, and Zanda to Pupal and Yava. Sasha comes on, I am quite a shout. Ninja Cabian Yalla, Macabian and Bank, and a baker, a phone now. Sasha comes on, I teach that to dig Larry, and to Zan Wuba. No quite a beer can yell shambon. Be little color guys, when to Tala. Am I could quite a never me a little man chan shall follow. I dig a ladder, my midday day. Then none shall come Zaha. Carry chance to bank and tea and a bola lari. No could to whom I yes shall not conco. Carita larma. So Sasha comes Zaha. Let a quantum man. Got a toe check out the ladder nama. Got a telebank and a bakery. Carry phone and the Sasha comes Zaha. I to Bora. And to Zan a leggy shara into Degi lari.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are grateful to our panelists. Please, you just get ready to take our questions. Yes, so we'll give the opportunity to students from Fong Tamale. Please, 3 questions, then we'll move on. Yes, you.
Please. My name is Adam. So what can we do?
Let them hear you from the back. We've been shouting. Yes, so try.
What can we do so that the large-scale farming of crop will not interfere with the grazing of our animals?
Large-scale farming of crop.
The increasement of the acres
Okay.
will not interfere with the grazing of the animals.
Of the-
They also graze grasses.
Okay. Yes, madam. Please, are you taking notes?
with all the presentation,
Uh-huh.
much was said about the crop sector,
Yeah.
about Yara helping the peasant farmers and the clover.
Mhm.
And then they also said they want to help to eradicate unemployment in the system. But we are still in school under training to become animal health officers. What is MOFA doing or the government doing to help us as in the crop in the animal
Animal sector. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I believe yes. It's noted. Yeah.
Is find out young people like us if we want to embark in maybe ruminant farming production. So we team up a group. How do we write a proposal to seek for financial support from our leaders in order to embark?
Thank you very much. Please, your name.
Another wisdom.
Anaba Wisdom. Madam, we didn't take your name.
Bongadi Mawe
Bowedin. Mawe the Messi. Okay. Thank you very much. Are you also from Pontamale? Okay.
I want to find out, they are talking about, we want to achieve a certain goal, 2023. With we the youth, agriculture per se is not a new thing in Northern region, though we only practice it in a southeastern region.
Okay.
But we, as we are growing, we are not that used, we don't like it because of how we have known it to be.
Okay.
And our interests have been taken away.
Okay.
Now, we are looking at it now in a commercial way. How would we go in the aspect of bringing our interest as we back to them?
Okay. Thank you very much. Your point is noted. Yes. So I'll send the baton to our panelists, please. You've noted the questions, if you can answer them. Then we'll take another set, please. Thank you very much. Please, after they finish answering the 4 questions, we'll take another set. Thank you very much. Please, who is ready to answer? Yeah. Okay.
I can attempt 2 of them.
Okay.
So the other 2 are on animal farming and food farm, so I think.
Okay.
But
okay.
Maybe I can attempt the last one first.
Okay.
How to get the youth interested in agri. Yeah, the image we have today does not encourage the youth, that's for sure. Because it's old people, hoes and cutlasses, subsistence. By the National Best Farmer 2018, he was the MD of one of the companies in Ghana before he went into farming. For me, that's a very good example that you can see agri beyond the subsistence farming. So you have to think of agri like that. Look at somebody like the National Best Farmer. He was in the program, he shared some thoughts in the morning. He was the managing director of a company like I am today. So you never know, maybe in the next X years, I'll be the National Best Farmer. If the youth sees examples like that in agri, then it starts to be encouraging. And please, I think the minister said we collaborate a lot on funerals and things. It's very easy for us to get together when somebody dies and we have to bury. When we have to do business, we don't want to get together. You have to think of getting together as a group to have a large-scale farm instead of taking my father's 2-acre farm and continuing from there. When you start to see it like that, a different kind of interest will come. So there are examples, unfortunately there are not many, but look at those exceptional examples and you can be successful in there. The other one was how large-scale farming will not interfere with grazing of animals. That question came from there, right?
Yes.
Large scale or small scale, are the animals grazing on the small scale farms? If they are, then whether you do large scale or not, you have the same problem. There are 2 things that for me I think we should do. One is to improve the productivity of the farm sizes we have. And we know it's possible. We can easily double the yield of the national production without farming an extra acre. So that is one, so that you get more out of the limited land. And the second one is, this rearing exercise where the animals are walking on the high streets of Nima. I see them in Accra. So they're walking anywhere you can take them to graze. That's wrong. We need to be able to restrict and demarcate. If we say this is a grazing area, then we don't do farming into that area, but it's restricted. And then, because you have to, if you take even rearing serious, you have to grow grass for the animals. Not let them walk around and see any grass. And you have to grow grass. So we have to properly restrict areas where they can graze. We need to improve the yield of the sizes we have so that we are not mixing them up. Otherwise, whether we do anything or not, they will eat your small scale farms. Bye.
Thank you very much. That's an explanation. Okay. Can we just finish? Okay. Thank you very much, our director from Yara. There was also a question talking about animals. What government is doing about it. For now, what I know is that we have that policy talking about rallying for food and jobs. So government has started distributing animals to farmers so that during the rainy season you do your farming and during the dry season you concentrate on the animals. So you do both. Whilst you are rallying animals, at the same time you are also producing crops. And with that you have both animals and crops. Yes, I don't know whether that answers your question. And we are also saying that with the animal rallying, it should be it shouldn't be subsistent. You should do it on a larger scale. You start small, but you make sure you open up until you get that large scale farming of animals. You need the semi-intensive system of rallying so that you have a paddock. If you are talking about ruminants, you have a paddock. After camping them during the night, in the daytime you release them, they go to the paddock, they feed, and then later you get a place for them. You can also subsidize with a semi-intensive system. You subsidize the feeding. It's not only the grazing, you can add something else. You can go into poultry and all that. Yes, so this is what we are selling out to farmers out there. Yes.
What I was trying to say was like in our school we have LBS, livestock breeding station, and then we also have a school farm but currently there is nothing like anytime you come as first years, early morning you go for practical.
Yes.
So we learn in school to get the knowledge so that when we come out we help farmers.
Okay.
But as we are in school now, we only heard government has given out some animals to some farmers for the rearing for an year.
Food and
But
jobs, yeah.
in school right now, we don't have any animals for practical. How do we then learn? So
your point is noted. Thank you very much. So we'll advocate for government to bring animals for practicals in your school. Thank you very much. Yes, the last question was yes, if you can address that. Thank you very much. Do you still want to talk? You still want to add up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. After he has finished, we'll do that.
Somebody asked how do we do to get the youth interested in agriculture or invest in agriculture? That is very key. They should go beyond just interest. You should be ready to invest and have in mind that you are going to make good money in investing in agriculture. As somebody said, the best way is to get yourself attached to a very recognized agribusiness where you learn on the job. But of late, most youth wouldn't want to go out and get themselves attached to any agribusiness where they'll be asked to do X, Y, Z at the top. And that is where the challenge is. There are so many successful agribusiness in northern Ghana and beyond northern Ghana. Identify them, get yourself attached to them, 2 months, 3 months, during holidays. You get yourself used to the system. When you come back from school, go back, learn from them. Within 2-3 years, you get to know the tricks, and the same business can help you to set you up. That's the only way. If you come out with your money, you go into it, you will fail. the best thing is to learn on the job. Once you learn on the job, you'll be able to set up your own business. You can run it very well. That's the best way. When it comes to the issue of livestock, what I want to say is that, of course, we are saying also increase the land area. Of course, 1 acre is not enough. But the best is to ensure that we enhance the yield per unit area. For instance, if you do 10 acres and you get 20 bags, that's not good. You can get 20 bags from 2 acres. You reduce the cost of production, and again, you get improved yield from the unit area. That's the best way. And the crop residues from the field can be used to feed livestock. Again, when you have more land, do land rotation. One part is for livestock feeding. You can ask the planners, they will confine livestock on one land. After 1 year, 2 years, they move to another land, and they farm there. And they get good yield. They don't put in any organic manure. They get good yield. That's the best way we can do for now. But again, the most important thing is that not allowing the livestock to go around, but ensure that you get other fermented feeding. The crop residues, you can also grow grass and feed them during the dry season. I think that's the best way we can do.
Chemical Ghana Commodity Exchange, Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
To add up to answering the question here. If you tend and everybody can hear you, thank you very much. Your name?
Yeah, I'm Isa Abdelhakim. So, this problem is that it's going livestock, and now that we are increasing our farmlands, we want to find out how to get his animals increased. So the simple answer is that the forests are there. So let's send animals to the forest. There are enough grass in the forest. There are enough grass in the forest. Let's send them to the forest.
Hello. Thank you very much. Hello. Yes. The fact is that we are trying to discourage farmers from sending their animals to the forest, because in doing that, some of the animals stray and they destroy people's crops. They destroy people's farms. So we are trying to rather encourage the paddock system, the range system, where you or the semi-intensive system where you have pasture for your animals. You have some feed in your range for the animals, please. So just allowing them to go to the forest, we are trying to stay away from that. Thank you very much. At this point, we'll still give chance for people to ask questions, but if it will not bother the whole panel, they can leave. We'll just take the next round and then we close. Oh, okay. I like they have another session, so we just have to end it here. Thank you very much. Yes, so the stars are there. They have stars. Ask your question.
Announcement.
There's a short announcement, please. A short announcement.
Please, after this session, there will be another session, a discussion. So farmers who are engaged in the production of yam, rice, sorghum, coffee, and maize. That there will be another session for farmers.
Farmer, buyer, or into agribusiness. Are you looking to purchase input, machinery, and equipment? Do you equally want to meet and do business with transporters, ICT firms, agro processors, wholesalers, and retailers of food? Do you also want to know more about what development partners and financial companies have to offer in the agribusiness value chain? Or are you seriously thinking about building your capacity, exploring opportunities, or starting an agribusiness? Then you need to be part of the 9th annual pre-harvest agribusiness exhibitions and conference happening at the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium.